Welcome back. So we're going to do a couple more examples. Um, and if you're getting a feel for it, feel free to try, I don't know, the first step on your own, maybe copy it down and do it in your head, try to do it out. But when I watch these videos, no one ever does that. They just kind of want to watch the show, which is fine. Some fractions involved, but still the same type of problem. It's not as random as I said before, but all right. So I'm going to take the 6/5 and this 15x squared, and everything, this is just multiplication, 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 multiplication. So the order that I multiply doesn't matter, so I'm going to multiply those two things first. Now, 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 3 times 6 is 18. So we're going to have an 18x squared. I'm just going to copy down the other Johns, the 3x minus 8 to the 1/3, and the 5x cubed plus 3 to the 1/5, minus this is nice. The 1/3 and the 3. A third of 3 is 1. They just cancel out. So I'm left with 5x cubed plus 3 to the 6/5. And then copy down the 3x minus 8 to the negative 2/3. So those are all set. On the bottom here, we have 3x minus 8. 1/3 times 2 is 2/3. Okay. All right, so from here, we're going to factor out the greatest common factor. Let's do green. They both have a 3x minus 8, so I can factor out the 3x minus 8. The exponent's going to be the smallest one. I have a third of a factor and negative 2/3 of a factor, and negative 2/3 is the smallest. No, let's go purple. They both have a 5x plus 3, so I can take that out. This is to the 1/5, that's to the 6/5. 1/5 is smaller, so I can take out that. And then what's left? Let's see, that 18x squared is still there. Now 3x minus 8, I've taken out negative 2/3 of a factor of it. How many are left over? And remember, it's always going to be 1, but you can think of it as this. If I multiply this back out, negative 2/3 plus 1 would give me 1/3, which is what it should give me. So that's that. The 5x plus 3 to the 1/5, we already took that entire thing out, so that's it for the first chunk. Now, on the other side of the minus sign, 5x plus 3, 5x cubed plus 3. Of the 6/5, we took 1/5 out, so there's going to be 5/5 or 1 remaining. So I can just leave that as a 1. Just think you took 1/5 out of that factor, so there's 5/5 left. And the 3x minus 8 to the negative 2/3 is all out, so we can close the parentheses and put this over 3x minus 8 to the 2/3. And then from here, let's see, we have another negative exponent, so I can bring that to the denominator and make that negative 2/3 positive. So I'm going to rewrite the top without that green piece. So I have 5x plus 3 to the 1/5. Inside the parentheses, we're just going to clean it up. So just distribute that 18 in there. 18 times 3. 18, 36. Is it 48 again? 54. So it's going to be 54 x to the third. And then 18x squared times 8 is going to give me 144. We have x squared. And then this negative, don't forget to distribute it in there because a lot of people do. So it's going to be minus 5x cubed. And then here it is, minus 3. Don't make that mistake. On the bottom, that 3x minus 8 to the 2/3 is there. But this negative exponent I can bring down to the bottom, which is what I'm going to do here. And that 3x minus 8 to the negative 2/3 is going to now be to the positive 2/3. Okay, hard part's done. On the top, I'm just going to clean up this parenthesis, and I'm going to combine those two numbers with the same base, and then we're done. So we have 5x plus 3 to the 1/5. That's just going to hang out. 54x squared minus 5x squared, that's going to give me 49, or not x squared, x cubed. It's going to give me 49x cubed. And just copy down the other numbers, 144x squared minus 3. And on the bottom, these numbers have the same base, so we can just add the exponents when we're multiplying. So 2/3 plus 2/3 is 4/3. So 3x minus 8 to the 4/3. Yep, and that checks out. So put a box around it. We have simplified that expression. Okay. So you went from this not so attractive thing to this thing, which is much more attractive. And that's better. Okay. Another example. Again, give this one a try on your own. See how you do. But here we go. So 4/3 times 9x squared. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So we're going to have 12x squared. And I'm just going to copy everything else out. If you do these enough, you can probably do 2 steps at once, but I can't. Plus, all right, so we just have that half there. There's nothing to multiply it with. X minus 3 to the negative 1/2. And 3x cubed minus 8 to the positive 4/3. So they both have the 3x minus 8. 1/3 is smaller than 4/3, so I'm going to take 3x cubed minus 8 to the 1/3 out. They both have x minus 3, so I can factor that out. Negative 1/2 is smaller than positive 1/2, so I'm going to take negative 1/2 factors out. What's left? I have a 12x squared. That 3x minus 8 to the 1/3 is completely gone. I took negative 1/2 factors of x minus 3 out, so there's going to be 1 left over. Remember, that 1's not a coincidence. This plus this should give me that every time, to double check it. And then here I have the 1/2 still, and then x minus 3, the negative 1/2 has been completely removed, but the 3x cubed minus 8, I take out 1/3 of the 4/3 factor, so there's going to be 3/3 or 1 factor of it left. And again, that 1's not a coincidence, it's going to keep happening. All right, so we're going to clean up the parentheses in black. The purple piece is going to go to the bottom because it's got a negative exponent, and then we'll be done. So 3x cubed minus 8 to the 1/3 is going to hang out. The parentheses in black we just need to clean up. It's going to be 12x cubed minus 24x squared. And this is going to be 3/2 x cubed minus 4. And that purple piece, I said we're going to bring it to the denominator, and that exponent will become positive 1/2. Still more combining like terms up here, so I'm going to do everything in the same color now. Let's see, 12 plus 3/2. 12 plus 3/2, that's the same thing as 24/2 plus 3/2. 27/2. So you have 27/2 x cubed minus 24x squared minus 4 all over x minus 3 to the 1/2. And we could be done here and put a box around it, but this 27/2, like I have a fraction and a fraction, I can get rid of that pretty quickly. I just want to get rid of that 2, so if I multiply the top and bottom of this equation by 2, because it's factored, I can just multiply the 2 into this bigger parenthesis first. And so the result is going to look like this. 3x cubed minus 8 to the 1/3 is going to stay there. The x minus 3 to the 1/2 is going to be multiplied by 2, so I'm going to put that 2 right here. And then when I distribute this 2 in, the 2 and the 27/2, the 2's will cancel out. I'm just left with 27x cubed, but then I got to double the 24, which is going to be 48. X squared, and double the 4, which is going to give me 8. So this just doesn't have the 27/2 as a coefficient. So we can leave it like that and be done. Okay. All right. More examples, I think. I'm just going to do one more example. Yeah. Last one. Copy it down and let's see here. So these are all they're not binomials, they're just single term factors, which is different than what we've been doing, but it's actually going to be a little bit easier. They both have an x as a factor here. The smallest exponent is -2, so we're going to take out that -2. They also both have a y as a factor, so the smallest exponent is going to be the -2, so I'm going to take out y to the -2. And what's left? Well, that 4 still there. I took out x to the -2, so that's gone. I took out y to the -2, that's y to the -1, so I think there's going to be y to the first left over. To check it, this plus this should equal that, which it does. And then that 3 is still there. We can factor that out. We took out x to the -2. This is x to the -1, so there's going to be one factor of x left over. And again, this plus this should equal that, and it does. Y to the -2 got completely removed, so that's gone. On the bottom here, we're going to repeat what we just did. There's two factors of x. -2 is the smallest exponent, so take that out. There's two y factors. -3 is the smallest exponent, so we're going to take that one out. So that 2 is still there. X to the -1, so we took out -2 factors, so there's going to be one factor left over. Again, -2 plus 1 will give me that -1, so that checks out. We took out all of the y factors, the -3 of them, so that's gone. X to the -2, we completely took out those factors. Y to the -1, well, we took out -3 of them, so there's going to be 2 left over. So in this case, it wasn't 1, it was 2. But again, this plus this should equal that. Okay, so hard part's done. What I'm going to do now, well, okay. You can make the negative exponents positive by flipping them, which I'm going to do in a second. But before I do that, recognize this is just going to divide out with that because those are the same number. I can make this y to the -3 positive by putting the numerator. This y to the -2, I can make it positive by putting the denominator. Cross the line, change the sign. And then I have 3x plus 4y. I'm just flipping those so it's in alphabetical order. 2x plus y squared. And if you didn't notice already, 2 of those y's will kill out 2 of those y's, and I'm left with 1 y left over. So that's it. We have y times 3x plus 4y over 2x plus y squared. And if you want to distribute that y in, that's fine. So then you have 3xy plus 4y squared over 2x plus y squared. So I'm going to leave my final answer like that. A lot of examples for you guys to look at there, but it's so when you're doing the practice in class, you'll have these to refer to, and I'll be there to help you out. So stuff that I did in the video that kind of confuse you, put a star next to it or use a highlighter, just something that so you can find it really quick in your notes to be like, Mr. Florida, how did you go from here to here? Because the more of those questions you have, the more we answer and the more we learn. All right, have a good one.